these storms kind of showing signs of that rotation here, but this one already getting the green light for the tornado warning. We just kind of put things in motion a little bit to show you where this is heading. This one is not moving with particularly fast pace. These are only going about 20, maybe up to 30 miles an hour or so as we move off to the north and east, just to the west of Leroy. Again, if you are anywhere in this polygon, out there towards Leroy, out there towards Downs, get to your tornado safe spot right now, because we have got a situation here where this storm very easily could be dropping down a tornado at some point in time. So we're keeping an eye out for this as it approaches I-74. Again, just getting up here on the 4 o'clock hour, right when we'd normally be starting our 4 o'clock newscast, but we've got some severe weather here in the area. Getting ready to move out there across 74 here before too long. So we are tracking this thing as it moves slowly to the north and east. We also have Chief Meteorologist Kevin Luddy out in the storm tracker. We'll get to him here soon once he gets approaching to that storm, but we should have a pretty good view of this thing here before too terribly long. Again, just crossing the 4 o'clock hour right now. There is that first storm that has that tornado warning just to the south of Downs and to the west of Leroy. There's also other storm activity here in the area. Anything that's got a warning definitely has the ability to pop and rotate here at some point in time. We've also got another storm out there closer to Saybrook, kind of to the south and west of there is where that main core of that storm is, and to the north and west of Bellflower. Everything just very slowly drifting to the north and east here between 20 and 30 miles an hour. Also some other storm activity that we're continuing to pay attention to, keep an eye out for. But again, this one has our attention right now, has clearly been the best storm of the afternoon here so far, as it is getting those signs of rotation to already kind of become evident here over the last several scans. Now, things don't look super intense. Again, that velocity signature we showed doesn't jump off the page, but we're kind of heading that direction. These storms have done nothing but strengthen here as we've moved forward in time. So we are going to track this one as it is now getting ready to move right across I-74 there between Downs and Leroy. We'll put it again in motion here just real quickly. Hopefully this has a way of kind of splitting the gap between Leroy and Downs, but we'll be able to see here if we put things in motion. It might, but you don't want to take any chances. Again, be in your tornado safe spot here with this storm, as it is very quickly heading right over the I-74 region as we speak. And again, we've got, we'll be having eyes on that here before too long, and watching this as it moves off to the north and east. Very slow storm motion with these. We'll be able to keep an eye out for them. But if you are in these warning areas, you might have to be kind of hunkered down here for a little bits longer than what you normally are, just because of the nature of them. They are riding that warm front. That warm front itself is not necessarily accelerating here across the area. So that is kind of an added danger here to some of these. You'll want to make sure that you're down for just a little bit longer than what you normally would be. Okay, so just kind of taking a look here across the area. Again, these are the only two warnings up there in McLean County. That is what we're focused in on right now. That's why we jumped on here just a little bit earlier. And of course, we're here during the time frame that we would normally be doing the 4 o'clock newscast, but this has our attention here for sure at this moment in time. So let's jump back into our velocity picture here real quickly. Do a couple clicks here and we'll jump right back into that. And we will once again kind of see where these greens and reds are kind of right here next to each other. Again, doesn't look like anything too crazy that's jumping off the page, but you still have that signature right about in this region here. We'll see kind of what these next few updates do here on the radar picture. But again, that's what's happening right now. And for a little bit more as to what's happening here behind these storms, we've also got meteorologist Jacob Dickey in the studio with us. Jacob, kind of let us know your thoughts on these initial storms and these first couple warnings of the day.
Yeah, and at some point we'd like to get that triple box, but what we're going to do here first off is just kind of hit things really quick, because there's a lot going on at 4. So what you see Seth there is on the left of your screen. I'm up here on the right watching. Down below is Chief Meteorologist Kevin Luddy, and he's moving closer to that storm. He's north of Weldon, and so we'll be hearing from him soon, Seth. But I want to cover a quick couple things, and then we're going to get some other news in because of the speed of these storms real quick. Lots of folks watching. We're keeping an eye on all of these storms. That focus, though, McLean, eventually into Ford County, with the storms moving in the direction here. And so this storm also does catch my attention there, heading towards the Gibson City and Sibley area. Right now it's over Saybrook. This right there, though, certainly very interesting. You actually could make out that hook on the storm as it moves on through. The Gibson City camera is turned in that direction. In fact, as I zoom back in here, I want to show you. That would be where the tornado is right there. The hook of the storm is right there. So it hooks around, and this is where that rotation shows up. So very obvious with this storm here as it moves to the northeast. It's going to cross very close to, if not just northwest of Leroy. Let's talk about the views that we've got. This is Gibson City. We're looking off to the south and west. This is the storm near Saybrook. There's some lowering showing up there, a little rain in town. And then, of course, we also have Kevin that's out there, and so we'll be monitoring that. What I'd like to do real quick here is I think we've got a moment, but we want to get our sports folks a chance to talk too, because they've got some things going on there. And I think if we're ready to do that, maybe let us know if that's the case here. We'll send it over to Brandon to give us a news update because this year, yes, it's affecting some of our area, but it's moving in the direction where it grows more concerning. But let's send it over to Brandon real quick. Let's get our Illini update in here, and then we'll be back with more weather in just a bit. Brandon?
All right, Jacob, thank you. Speaking of the Illini, just a little more than 24 hours away from a date with destiny. With that, we're taking you back out to Indianapolis for team coverage. Our sports team live in front of Lucas Oil Stadium. And WCIA3's Amanda Brennan also live in Indianapolis. First to Glenn, Courtney, starting with you two. How are the Illini handling this pressure and all the expectations?
Yeah, Brandon, Illinois had practice here in Lucas Oil Stadium this morning. There were a couple thousand fans there. Tomorrow there will be about 70,000 fans here. That can bring some nerves. That can bring some pressure. But for junior guard Andrei Stojakovic, pressure is nothing new. Starters just because of his last name.
And you probably heard of him, Peja Stojakovic, one of the best shooters in NBA history. That's Andrei's dad, and he has, without question, been an incredible resource to his son throughout his basketball journey. But the Illini wing also says he doesn't overstep. He knows he's not the coach. He knows when to leave him alone. And Andrei knows he's his own player. His game, his skill set is different.
Someone who just enjoys watching basketball, and all he cares about is myself and the rest of the guys on the team, finding enjoyment from playing. He doesn't care that we made the Final Four. It's not about that. It's about, the hard work we put in is finally paying off, and the idea of us loving the game is showing right now.
Now, we have seen Peja shown on the game broadcast several times. I don't believe, though, we have seen him in Illini gear just yet. Will Peja show up in orange and blue for the Final Four? Andrei said he's not sure. He oftentimes likes to go with a plain, simpler look without logos on it. Plus, that simple look has been working so far in the NCAA tournament.
Exactly. Peja owns the orange and blue. We'll just have to wait and see what he shows up in tomorrow. It's worked just fine through the month of March, so maybe it ain't broke.
Don't fix it. We're going to have more coverage for you throughout the evening on air and online at WCIA.com. With Courtney Lynn Brewer, I'm Glenn Kinley, live in Indianapolis for your Illini Nation, WCIA 3 Sports.
All right, Glenn, Courtney, thank you. From the team preparing for the Final Four to the fans soaking in all the action on and off the court. For that, we go live to WCIA3's Amanda Brennan, live in the center of all the action at the Fan Fest there. Amanda, take it away.
I mean, Brandon, it really doesn't get better than this if you are a college basketball fan. And let me just tell you, I am looking at a sea of orange and blue. Illinois fans really showing up in the Circle City. We just had an I chant going a couple of minutes ago, but Illinois is not the only Big Ten team competing for this title. Half of the Final Four is Big Ten, and we are in the middle of Big Ten country. So with that, I want to bring in Dan Gillett from the Indy Sports Court. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is so great. There are Illini fans everywhere. Like you said, it is a sea of orange, and it's so great because you are all taking over Indianapolis this weekend.
And, I mean, Indy is in the center of Big Ten country. You really couldn't have asked for a better Final Four matchup from a tourism perspective.
From a tourism perspective, we love this matchup, like you said, between Illinois and Michigan. Two Big Ten teams, but right in the middle of Big Ten country. We've hosted just so many Big Ten championships between the football championship at Lucas Oil Stadium, both men's and women's basketball tournaments at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. So we're really excited about that. But then on the other side, we got great college basketball blue bloods here as well with UConn and Arizona. Between all these four teams, it's a fantastic matchup. And really, like I said, from a tourism side, really great for the city of Indianapolis.
How many people are you expecting to come this weekend?
I mean, we're looking at 70,000 people each day because that's how many fit inside Lucas Oil Stadium for these games. And you can see that's happening right now out on Georgia Street. This is completely free. So if you haven't come out yet and you want still debating, we're having watch parties out here. So even if you don't have a ticket to the games, you can watch the games with all that sea of blue and orange out here tomorrow as well.
This is really the place to be, but of course, Champaign-Urbana only 2 hours away. Lots of people I know are doing a day trip here tomorrow. What should be on their to-do list to try to fit in all the action?
I mean, first of all, what's great about Indianapolis, it's a walkable downtown. So just find one parking spot and you'll be within about a half-mile drive of everything down here. But come down to Georgia Street right here. I mean, this is a vibe happening right now. I can't imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow. Right behind us is the convention center where Men's Final Four Fan Fest, presented by Capital One's happening. That's 300,000 square feet of sponsor activations. There's free food. You can dunk a basketball. There's a foam pit in there. You get your haircut in there. So if you don't have your Final Four tight haircut tight yet, you can get it in there by Great Clip. So come on down. This is the center of the action. Lucas Oil Stadium is about a half a block that way. Cambridge Fieldhouse is about 2 blocks that way. This is the center of everything right here.
You summed it up perfectly. Fan Fest was so much fun. I was there earlier today, and I will bring you live to Fan Fest coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight. You don't want to miss it. But for now, reporting live in downtown Indianapolis, I'm Amanda Brennan with WCIA, your local news leader. I'll send it.
All right, Amanda, thanks. I got a little FOMO, messing out. Have fun out there in Indy. We'll check back in with you later. Now we're going to check back in with Seth Bonehoff over in the Weather Center. We still have that tornado warning, Seth.
Yeah, that's right, Brandon. And we've actually got Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy out there in the field. He's got a terrific view of this storm. You can kind of see the lowering there right in front of him. And if he's able to, Kevin, we'll just kind of throw things over to you. Let us know where you're at and what you've seen since you've rolled up here on the storm.
All right, that's right. We're looking live at the tornado warning storm southwest of Leroy. You're looking literally right where a tornado would develop if one would do so. And you can kind of see this is kind of a little bit of a lowering here, a wall cloud. And if you look kind of in this area here, you look at, some of those clouds moving just a little bit more. Okay. And so we're kind of monitoring this whole area right here. I'm just southwest of Leroy, and you can kind of see as we show you the wide view, look at kind of the larger kind of picture of the cloud, but look at this lowered base that's right here. And this is what we look for a potential tornado to come out of. Okay. And so we're literally right here, just southwest of Leroy, slow moving storm. Storms are moving at a, unusually slow kind of pace. We can kind of see some of the inflow that's trying to kind of come into the storm a little bit here to the east. But this thing here has kind of been cycling a little bit. There was a pretty good little lowering earlier, then it kind of went back up a little bit. But this is the view that we're getting right here, just southwest of Leroy, that we are located just on the kind of DeWitt-McLean County line. North of the DeWitt line there in McLean County. And so we're looking at this right here, folks. This is where potential tornado could develop. Again, the good news is it is moving really slow, so we're going to see something, but it does seem like it's wanting to ramp up here just a little bit more, so we're keeping a close eye on things. I'm not seeing, rapid rotation. Usually you're looking for things really spinning pretty good. There's a little bit there, but it is not as strong, but that is what these are the exact kind of clouds that you're looking for that potential for a tornado. So that's the view that we've got here right now. The good news is, I mentioned, we're able to keep up with it. If you're there into portions of McLean County, Leroy, you should just be in your tornado safe spot just in case, because this thing could drop something at any moment. So we're going to continue to keep a close eye on this. You can see it's very tight and compact. I mean, it is a smaller kind of area of rotation, and it is an interesting look on the radar as well. So, guys, I'm going to continue to monitor this and keep you up to date on anything that I see. But for right now, we're in the storm tracker. We're just southwest of Leroy. We'll send it back to you guys as we continue to watch these storms. I have that potential to produce severe weather. Again, also kind of looking up here in front of me a little bit, keeping an eye on that area up there as well. So we're looking at kind of a couple different areas here. So we're watching that as well, just kind of in front of me. So you can see here, just kind of a developing situation. That's in front of me here. We try to look to see anything that's on the ground or on this, that's kicking up or anything. But that right there is something of interest for sure, as that passes kind of right in front of me on this county road. Let's see if I can get you that exact county road that I'm on here. Basically, I'm at 200 North Road and 2350 East. So 200 North Road and 2350 East is where I am located. So East 200 North and 23 North 2350 East Road is what we're looking at here with this storm. So that's the view that we're getting here right now. And we'll send it back to you as we continue to watch this storm develop here, take on some interesting characteristics, that's for sure, as the tornado warning continues here into McLean County. So for now, there's another storm they're developing southwest of Wapella. We're going to have to watch that one coming in kind of behind us. So for now in the storm tracker, I'm Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin, for those eyes right there on the ground. And again, just to kind of pinpoint his location, we've got his icon up here there with the storm tracker. Again, kind of right here is where that area of rotation is. You can see it right there from his camera. The velocity presentation maybe doesn't do it justice. You can definitely tell something's trying to happen there. There's lots of little appendages and kind of some lowerings taking place there within that storm. This actual center of rotation probably escaping this warning polygon here before too long. We'll kind of see what the Weather Service decides to do next. They admitted that the radar presentation wasn't anything incredible either, but of course we have those eyes on the ground, and we'll see what that decision ends up being made. But other places kind of east of here, watch out for a place like Ellsworth, maybe out there into Aerosmith, eventually maybe Saybrook out that way. Again, we'll see what they kind of decide to do here with this next decision as this main area of interest starts to escape to the east of the polygon. Again, it's very hard to tell what else is happening within the velocity product, so we can, of course, push it back here to the regular reflectivity there, and you'll be able to see here in just a moment once that populates in. Again, even this doesn't look like anything crazy, but there's that nice little pocket down there to the south and east. There's nothing kind of taking away from the environment of the storm. It's kind of free to rotate here right now. So again, we'll see what the Weather Service ends up deciding to do with this one. That is, at this moment in time, the only warning in the area. It looks like they dropped the warning out there on the McLean and Ford County line. That's now starting to move into Gibson City. They didn't see anything worth continuing there in that one. Also, it looks like there's a little cell popped up over the Bloomington area right now, but just kind of gathering some of our details and everything that we've got. It doesn't look like there's any decisions being made here just yet, so we'll continue to follow this one as it kind of scrapes the southern edge of McLean County, heading very slowly to the east here, just between about 20 and maybe 25 miles an hour. So these storms just kind of crawling along here at the moment. And we'll continue to see what decisions are made as this storm now completely passed over Interstate 74. Again, there's the three of us here, meteorologist Jacob Dickey, myself, Kevin out there in the storm tracker as well. We're covering everything here for you as we've gotten off to a quick start here with some of these storms. Jacob, what are you thinking here with the way these storms are behaving and just kind of the number of storms? It doesn't really look like there's a ton out there, but making a little bit of an impact with the ones that did get going.
Right, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about why that is here coming in a second. I do want to just take an area-wide view. First off, we do not have a tornado watch for our area here. That tornado watch actually is in western Illinois, off into Iowa and in Missouri, but there's a warm front that's in place here, and that warm front is allowing for some of these storms here. If we can, let's bring the triple box up. Kevin, let's get Kevin in here real quick. Hey, Kevin, can you hear us? Kevin, we'd like to talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got, Kevin?
Sure.
He might be talking.
Oh, no, sir. I'm actually talking. Yeah, I'm actually talking to a homeowner that's just over here. You said your wife was watching. You want to say hi? No. Well, okay. Well, we're watching the storm that's here just outside of Leroy, and you can see, there is some of the rotation. I was actually just talking to the homeowners at her. She was watching our coverage here. So hello here if you're watching us just southwest of Leroy. Again, the storm here not looking, like anything major right now. It's kind of ramped down just a little bit, but this is one of the things where they'll kind of cycle up just a little bit. The rotation, as I mentioned, is fairly weak here. So we'll continue to kind of monitor this for you and keep you up to date on what's happening here again southwest of Leroy. We'll send it back to you there in the studio.
All right, Kevin, thanks for that. I heard something. I couldn't tell what it was. And Seth and I were like, because we couldn't see there. You kind of see that little rising scud cloud action that's in there. Okay, let's bring it back to me real quick here. And I would like to eventually get it to where we have our sky cam, the Gibson City sky cam, and then Kevin's TVU pointed on the triple box if possible. And we'll talk about the setup that's going on here. Still have that tornado warning. It goes for another 10 minutes. 4:30 is the cutoff time of that. We're getting to the point where that storm also maybe moving out of that polygon. So there's a chance we could drop things before that here. Interested in some of this other action here as well. If we look, Kevin's down here to the south. There he is south of Leroy. Here's Leroy. Here's Downs. You've got the Empire exit right here, 136. He's looking up into that. And again, if we can get that triple box, me big, and then the two on the side, that would be helpful so we get views. So let's switch Kevin and me in the back there. And we'll let you know what we're needing here so we can watch things. But you can see that's where Kevin is, where he's watching. It's not the most impressive storm, but it's a small, what we call low precipitation supercell, and that's enough to get us some rotation as things move on through there. A bit of a wider view. Kevin was mentioning another cell developing there to the south and west of him. We're going to keep an eye on that. And there we go. That looks great. I really appreciate that. You can see that Gibson City storm. I'll show you the Gibson City camera full here in a second. Want to take you over to Vermilion County. We've got some storm activity there. Fairmount by the Jamaica School and the Quarry, lifting up in that direction. We've got a storm then on the Fithian area lifting north, also by Bismarck. These are all lifting to the north and to the east, and they're slow movers, only about 20 miles an hour there. Here's what we're watching. First off, most of us in the 70s and near 80 today. 80 in Springfield, 77 in Decatur. What's happened is the warm front has lifted north, and you can see from Champaign at 77 to Pontiac and Watseka at 66. That warm front is right in this area here, and storms that get close to that warm front often have a really good chance to spin there. And y'all can see the humidity that's there as well. Dew points in the upper 60s, so we've got some nice soupy spring thunderstorm air that is in place for us there. All right, real quick, if you're into tornado warning, some reminders. We've had to practice this a lot. You got to go to your safe place, leave your mobile home out of cars. We're talking in, down, up. I go to schools and teach that. Inside, most interior room, down as low as you can, covering up with blankets, pillows, mattresses, even a bike helmet to cover your head there. We'll give you the all clear. Hayworth, you're all clear. We're right now mainly Leroy, and we're watching Bellflower and up towards Gibson City. And if you need to, you can take your coverage with you on our digital apps there. Let's get a real quick view here again, and maybe this will work. There we go. So this is our Gibson City camera. That's that next storm ahead of the tornado warning storm coming in. And there's some low rings that are in there. Again, as these storms are on that warm front, we just have to watch them very closely. And I know Seth's doing that. Kevin's on the field, of course, and I'm here with you as well. This one looks like there's a little inflow that's coming in there. So we'll need to keep a close eye on that. And then also want to pop Kevin up one last time here as he continues to snake his way on through the area. All right, Seth, I'm going to send it over to you. You got another update for us. What are you seeing over there?
Yeah, it looks like the Weather Service says they're not planning a downstream warning for this storm. Again, that warning is set to expire at 4:30. It's kind of already escaped the bounds of it, but just to relay that along, it looks like this warning will be allowed to expire without a continuation of the warning. So we'll continue to watch that. We'll kind of adjust our coverage here during this 4 o'clock newscast to kind of accordingly make sure that we're getting things here moving right along. But kind of like Jacob was alluding to, there's still a handful of storms here across the area, stretching out parts of Vermilion County up there into Ford County, and of course over here in McLean County as well. Nothing serious jumping off the page here other than that one storm, the Warren storm that we've been following, and even it's kind of doesn't look like it's at the same level that it was at one point. That might kind of be the nature here of some of these storms today. And then that might be the nature here of some of these storms today, as they kind of look like they're having some rotation here for a good period of time. Then they kind of fizzle out here. So we might see that become a little more sporadic. It might be just kind of random in nature here throughout the day. But right along that warm front is where to watch some of these storms. What I'm going to do here real quick, I'm going to pop up the go ahead and pop up the Gibson City camera, unless we already have it loaded up. I'd love to take that full here and just kind of look at that. There we go. So we can see a little bit of the leading edge of that storm getting ready to move right there into town. That is not the Warren storm. That is the storm out ahead of it. But it looks like you might start to get some activity there in the Gibson City area before too terribly long. So be on the lookout for that. Nothing too serious here at this moment in time. But again, some storm activity getting ready to head your direction. As we kind of just look at things here, let me pop back on my velocity product, and we just kind of scan around in some of these storms. You see pockets here or there where it looks like there might be just a little bit of movement, a little bit of rotation, but nothing that's really jumping off the page and kind of giving us any sort of concerns that there might be anything imminent here. So again, we'll kind of watch as this warning goes away. It's again, has kind of already escaped that box here. So we'll probably see that warning expire at 4:30, if not a little bit sooner. And from that point onward, we will likely kind of get back on the right track here with our 4 o'clock newscast and kind of jump into the second half as planned. But we'll kind of keep things here for just a little bit of time. Again, nothing too urgent out there. Even with some of these other storms, you might be getting some activity out there in the Danville area, across parts of Vermilion County, but nothing that is imminent, like I said. And we'll have to continue to watch for some of these because a lot of it very slow moving, and we're kind of still just at the beginning of that period. Looks like this could continue for perhaps another couple of hours there. I kind of see you've got a future track load up there, Jacob. Maybe walk people through the next few hours and what may be held with it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the next couple of hours here. And if we can, one, production, go ahead and give us a timer so we get to that magic moment. We'll wrap up here and then have first news at 4:30 as normal. Number two, if we can, I'd like to also keep that triple box up. Keep an eye on Kevin and then Gibson City. These views make a difference in our coverage here. You've got Seth and I in here pointing at radar and things like that. But when we've got our cameras, and then we've got the one in Gibson City, we've got the one down there in the Storm Tracker as well with Kevin down by Leroy. So watching that closely. And Seth, I see you're turning that Gibson City camera. If you see anything interesting, quite something to look at. Let me watch the future track. Again, I like to see all this here. You'll see future track picks up on a few of these storms. Over the next hour or two, the coverage actually increases because we've got this warm front that's draped here and starts to kind of slow down in its movement to the north. But the idea is that we still may have a couple of rotating storms sweep on through. 7 o'clock, any of these individual cells could be tornadic as they continue to move to the north and east, and we may keep that into areas north of I-72 here. I don't think there's really any issues for Taylorville tonight. Mattoon, Charleston, Tuscola, Effingham. This all seems north of you. The southern extent is going to be Springfield, Decatur, Champaign, and Danville. More than likely, we'll be talking a lot more about Lincoln, Bloomington, Watseka, Pontiac. And finally, by 10 o'clock, you see the storms begin to lift. They still may be tornadic in those areas there, while a lot of us are high and dry. And so that's something that we'll continue to monitor here. And then overnight tonight, we also have storms coming in from the west. We still expect some severe potential from that, but I think that's more isolated, more of a wind threat. And so that's something that we'll continue to monitor, but some rumbling thunder expected through the night. And the next half hour of the First News at 4 newscast, Seth's going to have more updates on that forecast for you. All right, Seth, we got about a minute left. I'm going to send it to you, and you can kind of wrap up coverage with some thoughts here as we keep an eye both in Gibson City and Leroy, and then we'll be back with more if needed. Seth and I and Kevin will have coverage. Otherwise, we kind of hope it's just you the rest of the night, Seth. That means nothing serious happening, right?
Yeah, that would be good news if we just kind of keep these newscasts flowing as normal. We don't need to interrupt or jump in anything. That would be a good sign. Again, we're about to kind of send things to break here before too long, but just want to make sure everyone's aware of what's going on. Yes, there's still that tornado warning out there. It's going to expire at 4:30. There's really not enough going on right now for it to really mean anything. So it looks like we'll be warning free here before too long. Still a couple of storms with warnings to our west and to our east. All these storms going to have that severe potential to them. So we'll continue to monitor that for you. But like we said, hopefully if all goes well here, we'll kind of continue these newscasts. We'll keep them moving along, and hopefully it'll be business as usual, and we won't have anything to worry about. So we are approaching here the end of the first half of the First News at 4. And again, we plan on taking things back normal here on the other side of the break. So stay with us, and we'll have more coming up after this.